Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? After the long, arduous wait of waiting for the Kyle Shanahan press conference, it has came and passed. And, I really like to wait and do a lot of these preview kind of predictions, scouting report episodes until you get the final injury report on Friday. And so sometimes it's tedious, but I do think it's necessary. So I apologize for going a lot later than we normally do. But the access to the information from the head coach, whether it's flawed, misleading, whatever, is important. And probably the most important thing, everybody's going to talk about Brock Purdy, whatever else. Actually, not Brock Purdy. It was Connor Colby. Showed up on the questionable status with a groin injury. And when asked, how many weeks, he said, few weeks, very possible. Now, he's questionable. Didn't really sound like he was questionable at all. And when asked who was going to fill in, he said, surprise, could be Ben Barch, could be Drew Moss, would have probably been Spencer Burford, but he's hurt. So you're just kind of, the injuries continue to pile. And even on top of that, I was on Wayne's show earlier today. Go check that out. The Wayne Breezy show. We were getting questions on Jordan Watkins. When's Jordan Watkins going to be back? When's he going to be back? Dude had a calf injury and he might be on IR now. So sometimes injuries just can't get out of your way. And that's killer. Now, having said, however bad the injuries are for the 49ers, understand this. They are worse for the Arizona Cardinals. They have more players on IR, 14. 49ers have 12 on IR. And they have just as many, injuries that they're battling. They're out 5 of their top corners. 5 of their top corners. And so, it hurts. The injuries hurt both teams, but you get no sympathy in the NFL, and it's 100% injury sport. Everybody gets hurt at some point, period. So it's not like you're playing a team that's completely healthy. You're at home finally, first time this year. You got to do what you got to do. And so thank you for all the hashtag CCs. You guys are the best. Raven says, I'm with you. Divisional games so important. I'm rolling with Brock at 75%, but we shall see. Now, the Brock Purdy, another practice day, 3 practices in a row. When Kyle was asked, what are you going to do with him? He said, highly unlikely he starts. They're trying to get him up as the 2 or 3. I'm not sure on that one. We'll just have to kind of see how it plays out. But again, I'm not an insider. I have no access to the medical reports. I have no access to the practice between outside of the videos that we see from the beat reporters on hand. I'm not on hand. Just understand, I'm not an insider. I am not a beat reporter. I am not a doctor. I'm a person that coached for a long damn time. And so with certain injuries, I can tell you a lot. We don't even know what type of injury Brock has. We know it's not turf toe. So my inclination has been and will continue to be Brock Purdy's going to play in this game. But that is not 100% by any stretch, because you look at just kind of where things are. My dog's going absolutely bonkers in the background. I apologize for that. I think my wife's taking. I'm sorry about that, guys. Hopefully everything's all right. I think somebody just knocked on the door. We got a French bulldog. She's very territorial. Calm down, Lucy. Anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. This is exactly what Kyle Shanahan wanted, is this whole idea of, dude, Arizona's going to have to prepare for Mac Jones. Arizona's going to have to prepare for Brock Purdy. That's just what it is. And so injuries, this is today's NFL. It's what it is. Shout out to Josh. He is the executive producer on today's show. He absolutely crushes it with the notes. I don't even know how many pages we got on here, bro. But dude crushed it. We got a lot to get to today. We'll do previews, scouting reports, scheme reports, tendencies, best matchups, bets, predictions, and we'll end with our score prediction of the game, which is Sunday. Super excited. I'm not traveling this week, so I get to do the actual podcaster role instead of the event planning role, which I'm pretty excited about right here. Atomic is cowing on IR. He is. and not designated to return. They're kind of leaving that open. You don't have to designate it. They chose to put him on the active 53, then put him on IR. So if they need to pull him off, they can. But my guess is that probably won't even be in the conversation until week 7. Now, the good news, wide receiver is getting a boost next week. Demarcus Robinson will be back. That is worth so much. That dude was just an absolute stud all throughout training camp and preseason. So you are getting some, wide receiver help. Kendrick Bourne, now 2 weeks in the system. That's huge. Hopefully you don't get those misplays like you saw against the Saints and the 2 penalties. Juwan Jennings, didn't practice all week, but he's questionable. You got the ankle, got the shoulder. Man, really, really wish this dude would have used the preseason and training camp to practice to get football ready. Totally screwed himself. I know his agency and everybody tried to do what was best for him. It didn't work out. Dude screwed himself. And I'm not mad at him for fighting for his dollar, but dude wasn't in football shape. Goes out there back-to-back weeks, gets hurt. Shoulder was 100% not practicing football, not taking contact, getting out there. He just got hit on a reroute. Now, not to say that shoulder injury couldn't happen, not to say that injury to the ankle couldn't have happened, but I'm telling you right now, would have been better if he was in football shape and football contact and ready to go. Can't show up without practicing, man. You just can't do it. I really, really hate how this has gone for Juwan Jennings. And I hope he plays. I hope he starts. This was the week that he could put the statement out there to everybody, I'm a number 1 wide receiver. Now he ain't practiced all week. Gosh, man. I get really, really upset. I want what's best for Juwan Jennings. That's what I want. His people did not put him in a position to get that. And he's kind of screwed himself. You listen to the raw people, man. I hate it. You should have known it wasn't going to happen and should have been out there practicing. Gosh, man. I really hate to see. How do I say this? I hate it when, let me rephrase it this way. People don't always have your best interests in mind. And even if his agency and all them did, once the tea leaves were on the wall, and look, dude, who are the 49ers extending? Now look at Colton McKivitz. That dude was out there nonstop and got paid. I'm just saying, man, you guys went about it the whole wrong way. And I just absolutely hate that because now this was the time the resume would be built for the next offseason for Juwan Jennings to get paid. And he's limping. Hate it. Thank you, Silent. Appreciate it. You are incredible. All the hashtags he sees. You guys are the best. Thanks, Vince. You guys are incredible. Look at this. John Christman. We got John Chapman and we got John Christman. Dude, there's a few of us out there. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Josh, this question. When do we switch our Kalia Davis for someone else? If you've watched any of the breakdowns we've done this week on our Patreon on the 49ersrush.com, we do every offensive play, defensive play, special teams play for the last 4.5 seasons combined. You can watch them all. They're all up. As soon as you sign up, you get access to all of them. I think we have 500 videos over there. It's insane. Anyway, one of the main defensive takeaways was Kalia Davis had the worst game of his career last week against the Saints. Dude just could not stay in his gap. And you saw how visibly frustrated he was. It had one great play, which was really, really cool for the tackle for loss in the fourth quarter, but absolutely terrible. And, Robert Saleh did everything he could not to say his name in the presser yesterday. Talked about we need to be clean. We need to be more sound. We need to do our jobs. We need to he was talking about Kalia Davis, and he was talking about Renardo Green pretty much the entirety of that. You just felt it. And if you watch the tape, it's now can Kalia Davis step up? Or is it time for Alfred Collins? Is it already time? I don't know if it's time yet. I don't. Alfred Collins posted a great week too, and I want to build on that. But yeah, Kalia Davis, man, I'm going to be watching 93. You got to have him against this power run game. You got to have him. Kalia Davis was awful last time against the Cardinals. He's got to play. He's got to do better. So I'm not swapping him out of the starting lineup yet. And the entire defensive philosophy, Josh, and you know this, it is to minimize the defensive tackle and the inexperience. You don't even have a defensive tackle out there on pass plays. You do that NASCAR package you kick, Eter Gross-Matos inside, Sam O inside, or Mikael Williams inside, you have 0 defensive tackles out there. On 2nd and 10, they're running NASCAR. Like, they're trying to mitigate the defensive tackle lack thereof performance with all defensive ends. Like, and a big reason to that is Kalia Davis. Jordan Elliott's playing great. Alfred Collins had a good game week 2. CJ West struggling. Like, and that's really all you got. Yeah, that's hard. Oh, look at this, Fitz. Happy to catch this. Calling for a Tonjes touchdown 100 yards from Pearsall. Ooh, the Pearsall. I'll sign off on that. I have Pearsall getting over 6 touchdowns. Or, sorry, 6 catches. 6 touchdowns would be nice. 6 receptions, easy. Like, especially with Juwan Jennings out. It's going to be the Kendrick Bourne and Ricky Pearsall show. Like, if you're in one of those deep dynasty leagues where you roster everybody, go pick up Kendrick Bourne. Now, if you're in a regular, like, 10-team, 12-team redraft fantasy, you ain't got no room for that. But in your deeper leagues, that's there. That is there. Chris Bays, thanks for the super chat. Saw you on the JFA podcast with Johnny Dale and Adam. Yeah, I jumped on there just to show some love and support. Adam's incredible. Johnny's incredible. Like, 2 humans that I've had the pleasure of interacting with personally. And I just, like, I love authenticity. And those 2 couldn't fake it if they tried. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people that do quite well in this space are 100% fake and no authentic whatever to their dude. They literally flip a personality switch, whatever. That's their prerogative. That's not my thing. I can't do that. Whoever the hell you are, I want you to be you. I like you. There's only one of you. There's a bunch of others. You be you. But those 2, man, great people. And shoot, Adam, he's going to be coming out to Indy. So we'll be partying with him for that Rush road trip. I'm excited about that. But, like, yeah, man, I have nothing but love and respect for those 2. And shoot, they've made my life better. They've made, my entire fandom and whatever the hell this is better because I learned from them. Coach Chart, what's up, man? He says, John, can you talk about keeping Kyler contained? Yeah, I'm going to star that because I want to talk about that later once we dive into just kind of everything with the scouting report. So I'm starring that comment. We're going to come back to it. So great question, Coach. We're going to come back and talk about that one later. Once I identify what the Colts do offensively. This is going to be like a 2-hour show, which I ain't even mad. But I haven't even gotten to the script yet. I'm going to get in trouble. Josh going to get mad at me. Roddy, John, how many times can Braden Willis be pulled up? 3. You can pull players up from the practice squad 3 times. You can only promote 2 per game. And so, yeah, there's a lot of that. But he could still go. Joel, what's up for the Philippines, my man? Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, my guy. Organization could have cleaned up the holdout earlier also. I disagree. I completely disagree on that one. You do not want him long-term. Not with the way you've built this roster. I disagree on that one. Yeah. JJ is not in the practice mood after not getting paid. He did this. Yeah, I'm telling you. I know I'm way behind on the chat, and so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, the Colby injury doesn't look like he's playing, and I freaking hate that because he was the one I was probably most excited to see. And so, man, like he had the chance to step up, and now, dude, next man up, stacking injuries, got 2 left guards out. Not good. Not good. Now, let's dive into the notes, shall we? Let's learn about the Arizona Cardinals. They're 2-0. They are tied, technically, for first place in the NFC West, although if the playoffs did start today, which they don't, the 49ers would be the number 1 team in the NFC West because they're the only ones with a divisional win. The Rams and Cardinals have no divisional wins. However, if the Cardinals beat the 49ers, they would then be the number 1 team over the Rams, assuming they win. They play the Eagles. We'll have to see how that goes. But regardless, whoever wins this game versus the Cardinals will be the de facto number 1. The 49ers would have a chokehold on this division with a 2-0 divisional win record, which is crazy because if the Niners do win this, no other team in the NFC West would have a single divisional win, whereas the 49ers would already have 2 after 3 weeks. This game, it's a playoff game. Yeah, I know it's week 3, but I'm telling you right now, you win the division, you're in the playoffs. You're in the playoffs. So this game, it's huge. It's huge. So the Cardinals have started off 2-0. They played the Saints, who the 49ers also played and beat, and they played the Panthers. Both games were really weird. Cardinals jumped out to gigantic early leads, and both teams came back with a chance to win late. And so we'll talk more about that. Trey McBride, Budda Baker, those are their two best players. You want to go down the line after that. I would throw out Calais Campbell, and then I would say probably James Conner. Like, those are their four. No comparison to the four of the 49ers in whichever order you want to put it. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Diamador Lenore, Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey. I understand Brock might not go. I understand, George Kittle's probably not going to go. But, you look at blue chip versus blue chip, it's not even a competition. You look at depth on depth, I think they're close. But the 49ers have a better roster. The 49ers have a better coaching staff. There's no doubt about that. Kyler Murray, that's kind of the X factors, because Kyler Murray has these games each year where he is just on. And he does his run around with the ball in his right hand, all that kind of whatever. Whenever he has those games, they could beat anybody in the NFL. The issue with Kyler Murray is hasn't had a lot of those. And every single year, Kyler Murray starts red hot, which he's not really red hot, but they always win early, and then they fade off late. That's just the way the Cardinals have been. This is 7th year under Kyler Murray, and have they even made the playoffs? Hold on. I don't think. Let's see here. I want to look at the franchise. It's likely. Sorry, this is like the worst thing ever, but I don't know the answer to this question. They made it to the wild card in 2021. So they have 0 playoff wins. They made the playoffs one time. That was it. They've never won the division since they've drafted him. And they made it to the playoffs once. That was it. Not good. Can I just be very honest? You take a quarterback number 1 overall. He's got a losing record, 38-45-1. Man, really not good. Now, his touchdown to interception ratio is awesome. 118 touchdowns to 58 interceptions. Great. Obviously, the rush yards are off the charts, but just he's not a good NFL quarterback. He is an average he's a below average NFL quarterback that has the run threat to take over any game he wants to take over. That's just what it is. And so he's just not good. He's not good. Now, do you replace him? What are you going to do? You're paying him all this money. It's probably one of the worst contracts in the NFL still. You can't move on from Kyler, and he's already gotten an entire coaching staff fired. It's going to happen again. But I'm just telling you, I don't think the Cardinals are making the playoffs again this year. But on a per-game micro basis, Kyler can step up and he can win a game. And you got to hope, Call of Duty doesn't have double-point weekend. His commitment to football is about as minimal as it get for an NFL quarterback. But it's what it is. It's what it is. Now, the Cardinals' defense has been playing pretty well. Forced some turnovers early. The Cardinals are a red-hot team in the first quarter. They have 0 points scored in the fourth quarter through 2 weeks. That's important. They're down 16-0, almost like Nick Sorensen's coaching them in the fourth quarter. But that's what it is. But there's a battle of first place. These two teams have played each other a ridiculous amount. The 49ers hold the lead 37-31. They played a lot of times. But it's not like this is a bad team. It's just not a good team. Nobody's going to call the Cardinals a quote-unquote good team. You almost blew a 24-point lead to the other shortest quarterback in the NFL, in the Carolina Panthers. They really could be 0-2. You change 2 plays the last 2 weeks, the Cardinals are 0-2. But this is the NFL. Can you win those close one-possession games? They have proven, like the 49ers have, that they can. So, and Joel, man, I'm with you. Expect a nail-biter. This is a divisional game. You've got injuries. Is Brock playing? Is he not playing? I don't think that really matters a lot. I want Brock to play personally. But, oh, man. And again, you look at the coaching staff for the Cardinals, one of the youngest in the NFL. You look at penalties. They've had 21 penalties, 150 penalty yards in 2 weeks. Not well coached. Not succinct. I know it's early in the year. Maybe that could change. It just, It's not great. Now, their top 5 offensive players last week, Elijah Higgins, who's only getting like 20 snaps a game, rookie that they spent pretty high on. They're not working him into the rotation a lot. Kyler Murray had an 81.4 grade. Michael Wilson, 73, Stanford kid. Trey McBride, who I think Trey McBride is – Budda Baker's their best. Trey McBride's their second best. I think Trey McBride's the second best tight end in the NFL. I'm going George Kittle 1, Trey McBride 2. Dallas Goedert, I'd probably put 3. Paris Johnson, solid 71.2 grade. He's going to be going against Bosa, Bryce Huff. That's going to be a fun matchup. Defensive players, Keitrell Clark was their highest graded player with a 79 grade last week. He only played 15 snaps. They lost 3 corners last week playing, and Keitrell Clark, he came in for the last quarter, played 15 snaps. Looked good. Zaven Collins had a defensive touchdown last week. He's been around for a while. And Calais Campbell, dude, Calais Campbell is unbelievable. Love this dude. Shout out to DeAndre. Calais Campbell's going to have a field day without Connor Colby. I agree. And, being critical of the 49ers, Dominic Pooney has not played well. I said something similar to this, but it was said much better by a smarter person, Johnny Dell, today whenever I was watching his show. Dominic Pooney has been the worst of the 49ers linemen so far this year. It's only been 2 weeks. But now you're talking about, okay, Dominic Pooney, can he step up against Calais Campbell, who's still dominating? Or is it going to be Drew Moss, Nick Zakelj? Yeah, Calais Campbell's going to be an issue. Just what it is. Just what it is. Now, weak players, their lowest graded players, there are a lot. They probably have the worst guards in the NFL. Isaiah Adams and Evan Brown, terrible, but longtime vet Will Hernandez, he's practiced limited. He might be back at one of those guard spots. That would help them out a lot. But, man, Isaiah Adams at right guard, 41.2 grade. Evan Brown, 52.4. He had 3 penalties. Isaiah Adams has 2 penalties. Not good. Kelvin Beachum at right tackle, not good. If Jonah Williams is healthy and goes at right tackle, not good. They just have a lot of guys that are not good football players. Max Melton, who's now their number 1 corner, had a 40.8 grade. Renardo Green played bad. I'd take Renardo Green's game over what Max Melton put on tape last week easily. This is not good. And then now you break down the games that they played, right? The Cardinals beat the Saints 20-13. Week 1. Came down to the last play, dropped touchdown in the end zone that would have tied it. But they scored 17 first half points, the Cardinals. They jumped out to an early lead, slowed down, and then did nothing late. All right, go to week 2. Carolina Panthers. They won 27-22, but they were up 27-3 in the third quarter. Again, 0 points in the fourth quarter. It's an issue. Red hot early, hold on, barely win late. That is kind of what they've been able to do, and that's not sustainable. And they played literally the Saints and the Cardinals very likely are both going to be picking top 5. Both of them are going to be. And so I think that is important. And look, you're not playing. I don't think the Cardinals are a quality football team. I don't think they're a top 12 team. I don't. I think they're an average team that if they get hot can beat anybody. If they get hot. Now, have they gotten hot yet? No. Can they get hot against the 49ers? Yes. Now let's go through a kind of analytical look at the offense, defense, special teams, and overall units. Let's go through the PFF just kind of categorical ranks through 2 weeks of the NFL right after this. 49ers Rush Road Trip is going into its 6th year with over 40 events at road games. If you are traveling to see the 49ers play this year, you got to come party with us. And on top of that, we give games, trivia, giveaways. We've partnered with TickPick this year. All you have to do is search 49ers Rush on any of the TickPick sites, apps, you name it. And on top of all of that, best dressed, giveaways, autographed jerseys, kids are always included, and get in for free with a ticketed adult. And A lot of times for select cities, we will have 49ers legends come out and you get to meet and greet them and get an autograph. Navarro Bowman, Frank Gore, Patrick Willis, Fred Warner are all players that we have worked with in the past. And trust me, if you want to build the 49ers community, you're traveling by yourself, we got you covered. 49ersrushroadtrip.com. All right, we've got the details for our next trip. We're going down to Tampa Bay. We will not be at the Thursday night game in LA. That's already a 49ers home game. But when we go to Tampa Bay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be partying the day before, but we're going to be partying on the beach. That's right. We're going to be out at Clearwater Beach at Coco's North Beach, 2 to 6, Saturday, October 11th. And then our tailgate, if you were at Tampa last year, we're doing the tailgate in the exact same spot with the Leatherheads. It got the giant pirate ship, premium unlimited food, unlimited drinks right in front of the stadium. So come check us out. Tickets are up and available. And then we've got Houston right after that. Man, cannot wait. We'll be at the Social Beer Garden HTX spot Saturday. It's also the spot of the official 49ers party. We're taking over after them. We got Frank Gore coming with us, which is going to be awesome. Travis King going to perform. The Nine are going to perform. And then our tailgate. We rented out an entire 3-story parking garage because I'm batshit crazy and make terrible choices. But I want to throw an incredible party. I'm from Texas. I don't get to go back there often. We're going to be showing out. So we're talking about a tailgate with parking included, all that stuff. We rent out the whole thing. And so parking costs a little bit extra. We got to recoup some of the funds. I never knew I would rent out a 3-story parking garage. We're going to party on the roof, baby. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Not too far from the stadium. It's like a 9-minute walk, but we're going to be having a good time. So whether you're going to Tampa Bay, whether you're going to Houston, whatever, come freaking party with us. Partying on the beach? Come on, man. I'm just saying. We're going to be having a good time. Oh, what's up? We got Rusty in the house. Rusty took care of us in New Orleans, man. You are the absolutely best. Yeah, he says Clearwater, utterly epic. What's up, Joel? He's coming out too. I love it. Me and Rusty were there last year whenever Moody missed all those kicks. I was not a happy camper. What's up, Dave? How we doing? So let's get to the kind of unit ranks from an overall perspective, right? So we're going to focus on kind of the micro. Let's focus on the macro of what these teams have put together so far through 2 weeks, right? Let's start with the Cardinals. This is from a PFF unit rankings, overall snap-by-snap grades compiled together, right? Out of 32 teams. The Cardinals' offense is ranked 16th. That is literally average. Now, their defense is 8th. But you got to keep in mind that defense, it's important to remember, who did they play? Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints. Now, the Saints look way better against us than they did them, but that's what it is. Special teams, 17th, right there, smack dab in the middle. Overall for the Cardinals, 11th. All right, now let's do the Niners. Offense, 8th. 49ers defense, 10th. Special teams, 13th. That's crazy how they got that number. I have no clue how. Overall, 12th. So you're talking about two teams from a PFF standpoint, man, just back to back, right? So where is the advantage going to go there? Special teams, third phase of the game is going to determine a lot. 49ers can't get worse. Last week was better than week 1, but it still was bad. You started off the first quarter with 4 negative, huge negative special teams play. Got better as it went on. But yeah, you got to fix some of those things. Now let's talk about the coaching staff for the Arizona Cardinals, because I think this is important. Jonathan Gannon's 42 years old. Oh, you young pup. I'm 43 now. I'm old. When I remember when I was Jonathan Gannon's age is last week. But anyway, he's kind of rose up quick through the ranks. He was, Philadelphia's defensive coordinator when they won the Super Bowl. Then he gets hired. The Cardinals paid him kind of one of the lowest salaries. They always pay the less. Bidwell's a cheap ass owner. Probably shouldn't say that on air, but I don't care. Thankfully, nobody could cancel me. I don't know. Maybe they could if they tried to. But I don't care. Anyway, now he played at Louisville, and, Gannon was a stud high school kid. He won championships in 3 separate sports that he played on. And then, man, he worked his way up. And I can't stand Jonathan Gannon, by the way. I think that Pee Wee Herman type, whatever. I can't stand this guy as just a human. I just don't like him. I don't like him at all. But I do respect this dude worked his way up. Started at Louisville back in 2003 as a student assistant, then a graduate assistant at Louisville. Then he jumped on with the Falcons as a quality control coach, was there for a few years. Then he St. Louis Rams, was a college scout, then a pro scout for the St. Louis Rams, then back to defensive quality control for the Titans, assistant DB coach for the Vikings, DB coach for Indy, and that's wherever he got hooked up with that whole Nick Sirianni crowd, whatever else. And man, became a head coach, brought all of his guys with him. Drew Petzing is his offensive coordinator. Probably one of my least favorite OCs in the NFL. I don't think he's very innovative, but you're limited whenever Kyler Murray's your quarterback. I'm just going to be honest. And, you draft an unreal kind of talent, number 4 overall, in Marvin Harrison Jr., and you mix him with a quarterback that can't throw over the middle. And it's just like that sucks. But anyway, played at Ohio State. It's what it is. But yeah, Drew Petzing, not good. But again, another guy that worked his way up. 2009, he started at Harvard as a volunteer student assistant, then Boston College as a GA. Then he went to Yale as an offensive or outside linebacker coach. Then he was an intern for the Browns. I mean, just keep scratching. You know what I mean? Their defensive coordinator, same damn thing. Nick Rallis. He's 32 years old, young. And, he played linebacker at Minnesota, but 2017, when he started, he was a quality control coach. Like, this dude has not coached. He has not been in coaching for like 7 years. That's all he's done. Now he's a defensive coordinator. Now Jonathan Gannon's the actual DC, but hey, I'm just saying, interesting. I love the coach journey, and I know you guys might get kind of bored with that, but I love the connections and plug it. I love dudes that grind, and I love guys that I love success for everybody. I don't like Jonathan Gannon, but I love what he's accomplished. You know what I mean? But I hope he gets destroyed, and I don't want him to get fired. Well, maybe he's got a lot of guarantee, but I really don't like that man. It's what it is. Now, we talked the Niners injuries. Let's talk the Cardinals injuries. Now, remember, they have more players on IR. They have the second most players on injured reserve. 49ers have the fourth most. They have 14 players. We have 12. But man, and I say this all the time, stacking injuries is what gets you in trouble. And that is exactly what they have done. They have 5 corners. So Sean Murphy Bunting, their number 1 corner, goes on IR. They don't replace them. They don't sign a vet. They're just like, you know what? We'll have these young guys play. Starling Thomas, their number 2 corner, goes on IR. They don't bring anybody in. They don't sign a vet. They don't get backup depth. They just stay with it, right? It's like, all right, that's kind of weird. Then Garrett Williams hurts his knee last weekend. He goes out. Then Will Johnson hurts his groin. That's 4. And now Max Melton, who is practicing, but he's got like a PCL sprain. And so your number 1 corner now, who is really your number 6 corner, is your number 1, and he's kind of banged up. And then one of my rush crush guys, Denzel Burke, out of the Ohio State, who I had a 4th-round grade on, he's going to be starting as well. Keitrell Clark's going to be starting. Not a good corner room. They're putting out the worst cornerbacks grouping in the NFL this week. It's dead last. It is dead freaking last. And so that's huge. That's not it. Walter Nolan. A lot of people wanted the Niners to draft Walter Nolan. He's still on NFI. Like, he ain't even played. LJ Collier, the former 1st-round pick of the Seattle Seahawks, their edge rusher, he's on IR. Tip Ryman, who's like one of the best number 2 blocking tight ends in the NFL. We loved him coming out of Illinois. He missed last week, but I do think he'll play this week. Cody Simon, linebacker, concussion. He's iffy. Calais Campbell didn't practice today. They didn't say what that was. I think it was just a vet day. But they're banged up, man. They really, really are. Oh, look at Tommy. What's up, brother? Appreciate the super chat. How do we exploit the secondary with the 3rd string left guard? Yeah, you got to help. Good news is he's, whoever that is, whether it's Zakel or Drew Moss, you're lining up next to Trent Williams. And you could put a tight end or a fullback or a running back. It's just a blue call, right? Back left, block left. That's what that is. I mean, the 49ers don't use that terminology, but that's like the simplest whatever. Like, I coached middle school, and it was like blue or brown, block right, BR, block left. Like, that's it. Like, it's so simple. But yeah, send an extra guy just to the left to just help if you need it. But dude, at some point, like, you got to play. You're in the NFL. I want some quick passing. I think that'll help a lot. And if you establish the run, that's going to help more than anything. Oh, look, yeah, Tommy even corrected me right there. You got to do the quick passing. You got to. And you establish a run, get some play action, move the pocket. That's what you do. It's very, very simple. Yatsik, are the Cardinals' injuries to more core players than ours? The Cardinals don't really have core players like we do. Yeah, Garrett Williams, Sean Murphy Bunting. Yeah, those guys start like those are kind of their top 10 guys on their defensive side. So yeah, but the Cardinals don't have no team besides maybe the Eagles and maybe the Ravens, Bills. Maybe no, I'm not even going to say the Bills. No team has the core that you have, and yeah, you're missing your quarterback maybe, but you're definitely missing George Kittle. But that's it. Who are the other core? Ben Barch ain't core. Connor Colby ain't core. As much as we love those guys, right? But like, who else are the 49ers missing that is quote unquote core? Juwan Jennings? Nah. Yeah, maybe he is, but like that's kind of self-inflicted a little bit there. And I know people are going to disagree with me and get mad at me every time I say that, but anyway, yeah, do with that what you will. Do with that what you will. Look at Jordan. Mac Jones record. Week after he wins his 0-7, we need Brock. Ooh, that's interesting. That is interesting. But I'm weird. I don't buy into a lot of those types of things. You don't sign Feliciano. He could even play last year. But I like Feliciano, and I wish he would have played last year. But nah, you made the decision to go young. You made that choice. This is where you're going to be if you go young. You're going to rely on guys that have never played. Now, it works out sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. But you have a vet in Zakel, and you have an undrafted free agent rookie in Drew Moss. That's what you got. And like, even if you look ahead of that, you paid $1 million for Ben Barch, your starting left guard. You spent a late 7th round pick on Connor Colby. The 49ers, and again, like, there are people that are taking victory laps. Oh, the 49ers don't invest in their own line. Yeah, right. Look at this. Okay, cool. Now show me Drew Moss as a starter. You didn't sign depth. You chose to go young, and now you got a undrafted free agent or Nick Zakel starting left guard. It's week 3, man. It's week 3. And Connor Colby was going to start. He's a 7th round rookie. Like, you don't invest in the offensive line. This is what you get. You get what you get, man. You made this bed. I really wish they would have spent more money on it. But the funny thing is, guard's the only offensive lineman that they draft. And here you are in dire straits, week 3. Me no gusta. You're the only team in the NFL that hasn't drafted a tackle or a center in 4 consecutive drafts in the NFL. The only team. And here you are. Now you need guard help. Like, and even your backup tackle's hurt, right? Like, this is what you get, man. And I hate it. And I don't like being that guy. Like, but it's just like, dude, I don't know what else to say. But the funny thing is, you're playing a team that did the same damn thing. They had all those corners hurt. There's corners out there that you can go get for higher. Stephon Gilmore. Like, there are guys out there that can play corner. Bidwell's saving his money. And look, it ain't going to affect the cap if you go sign somebody that could come in and compete at guard. You literally paid Ben March $1 million. That's it. That's all I got. Like, cheapest of all cheaps of all cheaps. And the problem, Tommy, he says, is Kingston even on a team? He got cut. He's on a practice squad. But like, Connor Colby got hurt Thursday. So that's kind of the problem. Like, you ain't going to get Kingston in here and practice for one day and call him up. If that was the case, like, no. But like, get hurt Thursday, Friday, Drew Moss getting reps. Now Nick Zakel getting reps. But like, they know the team. You're not going to learn what they look at. What KB was with the 49ers for 4 straight years of the Shanahan system. He gets 1 week of practice and has 2 penalties because he doesn't know the play. You can't get somebody in that quick. Now, if something bad happens this week and Drew Moss proves he can't do it and Nick Sakale can't do it, then you bring a guy like Kingston or somebody else in. But even when we had Kingston here, he played all on the right side. So, yeah, Mr. Glass for a mill. Yeah, I don't like calling people that. And, man, Ben Barch has had so many injuries that it's kind of comical. But, dude, you watch the play that he got hurt on. He got rolled up by not one but two guys behind him. I don't give a damn if you're Trent Williams, whoever else, $1 million man, you were getting hurt on that play. That happens in the line. Now, all the injuries before then and that knee always being an issue, that's a different story. But, man, that injury, I'm telling you right now, it was gruesome. 100%. Like, dude, I don't care who you are, you getting hurt on that one. But, yeah, the amount of injuries, kind of off the charts, right? And so that's a negative there. Now, let's do this just real quick. I want to get into the history of these two franchises. But before we do, we're doing this huge giveaway, which is really, really, this is the last time I'll announce it on a preview show. We're giving away 2 tickets, 49ers at Rams, week 5. October 2nd is the game. That's at SoFi. 2 tickets, section 236 with a pink tailgate parking pass. It is the absolute only place where you can tailgate at SoFi. Now, 1 ticket is for $20 or 3 tickets. You get 3 chances for $50. You can buy multiple. Just go to the 49ersrush.com/Rams. And all of this, all the proceeds, they're going to our boy Bruno, 3-year-old fighting through leukemia. I've shared a story on here a few times. So support a good cause. These tickets and tailgate pass are going for $1,500 online right now. And I think it actually went up, but I know the tickets did, but I haven't checked out those pink parts. Those are hard to get. Like, you only get those if you're a season ticket holder, and that's why we're giving these away. I know there's a giant 49ers fan contingency down in LA, so go check those out. Please go check those out and support the cause. Links in the description of the video. We're giving away Thursday on the Coach Approach, so you only got a couple more days. Tim, I love the comment, but I won't throw it up there. All right. History of the matchup. The 49ers are up 36-31. They've been playing for a long time. And the 49ers, at one point, won 4 straight versus the Cardinals. But, man, last year you got swept. Cardinals beat you both division games last year, and they ran you out of their building week 18. I was at that game. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing what the 49ers did. That was that week 18 game. We lost 47-24. Josh Dobbs was our quarterback. Patrick Taylor rushed for over 100 yards. It was gross. I'm just going to be honest. It was gross. I felt gross talking about it. So let's go through. Let's talk about this Cardinals defense, what their ranks are through 2 weeks, okay? Now, remember, all these ranks are out of 32 teams, okay? And total points allowed, this is the Cardinals defense, 10th. They've only allowed 35 points. So top 10 unit, pretty good. Yards, 21st. They've given up a lot of yards, especially in the second half. So if you're watching this game and the Cards jump out to an early lead, just chill out. That's the way they operate. They're super aggressive on both sides of the ball early. That's what they do. They are throwing haymakers early. You just got to kind of withstand that first quarter, second quarter, and then they start to collapse because it's not a good coaching staff. They kind of run out of whatever. Kyler Murray gets worse and worse as the game goes on. Kyler Murray gets worse and worse as the season goes on. You just got to be with it. 11th in turnovers. Now, 31st in first downs allowed. Only one team's worse than them. They get up 47, averaging 23 first downs allowed. And that's one of the things I'll be betting this week. We'll go over a couple bets. But I'll bet the 49ers over 19. Usually it's 19.5 first downs is like the standard generic bet for each team on my bookie. Bet over under. I'm betting over. The 49ers have hit the over both weeks, but I'll be betting over on first downs for the 49ers. They're just not a consistent defense. They gamble. Right? I talked earlier on the show this week about why Robert Saleh defenses don't get interceptions. Because they don't gamble. Jonathan Gannon, that dude plays craps when he goes to Vegas. I'm telling you right now, like this dude, he's wired. You know what I mean? Like he wants to roll the dice. He wants to cause problems, and you can catch him with his hand in the cookie jar. So first downs, you can get consistently. You can get explosives. You can get all that. He is not a consistently clean coordinator caller, and I think he would probably agree with that. He wants to gamble, and it's worked. I mean, they got a defensive touchdown last week. They wouldn't have won the game without it. They're going to try to steal those. 9th in passing touchdowns allowed, 11th in interceptions, 6th in rush yards. Now, it's important to also remember both the Saints and the Carolina Panthers fell double-digit points behind in the first half and abandoned the run in the second half. So I think that it's not like they're, destroying the yards per rush. They're giving up 3.8 yards per rush, which is 10th, which is good. But when you look at, only the 6th most rushing yards, dude, Carolina Panthers were down 27-3. It turned into a freaking passing 7-on-7 league. It's going to happen. 7th in rushing touchdowns allowed. They do get tight in the red zone. That's kind of who they are. That's a philosophical thing as well. Part of that Fangio scheme. Now, you look at just third downs, they're 11th. Fourth downs, they're 18th. Red zone, they're 11th. That's what they do. Now, my matchups and kind of what I like best, and we always do this threefold, right? Blue, best on best. Us, where the 49ers have the advantage. And then them, where do they have the advantage? Well, the blue chip, there's not a lot. Budda Baker is by far their best defender. But George Kittle ain't playing. And that pisses me off because that's one of, my favorite matchups of the year. George Kittle, Budda Baker. You remember, if y'all been with us for a while, my number one draft crush, he's my number 13 player overall, was Budda Baker. My, draft day, I made the meme, draft no matter what. I think it was Vontae Mack or something in the movie. Mine was Budda Baker that year. I loved Budda Baker. And, we didn't get him. I was really, really upset about that, but whatever. But him versus George Kittle, awesome. Kittle ain't playing. Breaks my heart. So you got to go with Trent Williams. This is the blue chip matchup versus Josh Sweat, who led, he was with the Eagles last year. He led the Eagles in pressures, and that's all that they do. They paid to bring him over here. Now he's their number one pass rusher. Trent Williams versus Josh Sweat in the pass rush game. He's just kind of a pass rush specialist only. That is my blue chip matchup. When the Cardinals are on defense, 49ers are on offense. Now, the best matchup for the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey versus those linebackers. It's kind of comical. I don't want to be rude, but Davis Gaither and Mac Wilson Sr., they're good, but neither one of them are quality A+ coverage guys. This is Shanahan's MO. And I told y'all last week, number 20 for the Saints, better get ready. Dude, they went after him all damn game. If you didn't watch the tape with us, dude, Shanahan had that dude running circles. Touchdown pass to JJ was against him. A lot of the biggest runs were against him. They just went at number 20. So I'm telling you right now, number two, Mac Wilson Sr. for the Arizona Cardinals, that's your guy this week. Number 2. Now, not so much in the run game, but I'm just sitting here telling you right now, dude's got a 52 coverage grade. Number 2, Mac Wilson Sr., he going to be highlighted. Look at that linebacker. That's where they're going at. If Juwan Jennings does play, I know that's still up. We'll see. But him versus any of these guys, you got to remember, Juwan Jennings got kicked out of this game last year. That stopped him from hitting his 1,000 yards. And outside of Denzel Burke, Keitrell Clark, soft. Max Melton's not soft, but he's not Denzel Burke is physical as hell. He's their number 2 corner now, who hasn't played really at all this year. But Keitrell Clark, soft. And yeah, I want to see that. Now, their best thing is Budda Baker versus our tight ends. Yeah, that's just what it's got to be. Shout out to Sin. So I miss Kittle versus Budda. I do too. What's up, Ben? How you doing, man? Glad I got to pop in. Grandson's game kicks off at 45. Go get that dub. Love freaking kids football, man. That is awesome. I love it. Now, and I don't say this enough, but if you want to support this show, the way to do that is just go to the 49ersrush.com. That is the way in which we pay our bills. That is the way in which we do everything. And if you want to support us, man, right here.
I am so excited to announce our new platform launched, the49ersrush.com. We've been active on Patreon for years, and we're still going to keep that community going. But the 49ersrush.com has everything Patreon offers and a bunch more. You want to watch player breakdowns? Guess what? You click that. It's filtered based on players. You want to see Javon Hargrave, what he brings, some CMC tape broken down, Ayuk, Jair Brown. We've got hundreds and hundreds of tapes on. Now, you want football 101. You want to learn scheme. Guess what? We've got every single offensive, defensive, special team snap. Head over to the 49ersrush.com, sign up, join the community, and plus we got a 7-day free trial. So
all right, let's talk about the Cardinals offense. What do they do well? Where do they fit race? Remember, this is out of 32 teams, right? Total points, 11th. Not bad. They're averaging about 23 points a game. Pretty solid. Playing some of the worst defenses out there. Total yards, 24th. Like, they are not sustaining drives. It's not really what they're 22nd and first downs. A lot of their points have come off of turnovers. They had a defensive touchdown. They got another touchdown off of a fumble. Like, not sustaining stuff. And they come out red hot, like I said before. Now, you start looking at their passing yards. They're 27th. Kyler Murray, dude can't throw over the middle of the field. Deep ball, drags, deep drags, out routes. That's what he does. Scramble around, backyard football. That's what the dude, he's completed, I think it was just 2 intermediate between the number of passes. That's it. From 10 to 20 yards, that intermediate zone, in between the numbers, where almost every quarterback does their best work in the NFL. He's completed 2 passes. I don't. That's so weird. That's so weird. But he's short, and that's not his thing. He wants to play on the perimeter. He wants to play outside. So that middle of the field, it's deleted. And that's why, man, it's 27th in passing yards. And you got the number 1 pick, one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league still. It just limits every single thing that you can do from an offense to just have a giant black hole in the middle of the field where defenses are vulnerable. It's just weird to me. It's weird to me. 9th in passing touchdowns. 20th in pass yards per attempt. Not good. 13th in rush yards. And that's what they want to do, right? What do the Cardinals want to do offensively? They don't want to run the ball. They're 13th. They have 1 rushing touchdown. And you look at their rush yards per attempt. Now, that's 11th. That's good. 4.7 yards per rush attempt is solid. And so if you were to tell me, look, the Cardinals won this game, how did they win it, John, without watching the game? I'm going to say they averaged, 5+ yards per carry. They were able to get a couple turnovers, and their special teams was sound. That is the pathway for the Cardinals to win it, right? Like, how do they beat us? 5+ yards a carry, get a turnover or 2, quality special teams. That's it. Like, and so you've got to be able to, and everything the 49ers have done this offseason is to limit the damn rushing attack, right? First round pick, Mikael Williams, stop the run. Alfred Collins, second round pick, stop the run. Nick Martin, stop the run. I know he's healthy, scratch. Upton Stout, nickel who could stop the run. Everything that you did was for this. Time to see if it pays dividends. It's worked so far. Can it go forward? They're 17th in third down conversions, 40%. 16th in the red zone. Just average. That's what this team is. It's an average team that can kind of irk out ugly wins. But even the worst opponents, they're going to make look like ugly wins. Like, literally, they could have lost both games. We're driving to lose the game, the opposing teams, both times. Man. So the offensive line for the Cardinals is bad. Their guards are bad. Their right tackle is bad. Paris Johnson's good. Their left tackle is good. Their center, Freehold, he's all right. There's not a lot of good centers in the NFL. Their strengths, man, their wide receivers are awesome and physical as hell. Now, here's the problem. That's the 49ers' strength. Renardo Green got torched last week. That dude got set on fire, but he's bad against finesse wide receiver. He's bad against Jackson Smith and Jigba, Chris Olave. Those guys, birds of a feather, right? Same college, whatever else. He's at his best in college and in the NFL against those strong, physical, bully-type wide receivers. Well, Marvin Harrison Jr., Mac Wilson, like that, Zay Jones. That's what you're going against. It's exactly the way the 49ers drafted their corners. Diamador Lenore, the hyena. Renardo Green, pesky. Upton Stout, small, physical, pesky. They bother the hell out of those bigger guys because you can't bully them. Why? Because they practice against Juwan Jennings every damn day in practice. And whatever the hell you're going to bring against these guys physicality-wise, dude, no. We practice against the Hulk every damn day. There ain't nothing you're going to do to piss me off. And not say they're not going to make plays, but they're not going to fall prey to, they're big physical wide receivers. Man, what we go through on a Wednesday, Thursday practice make you guys look like chump change. Y'all the damn little giants compared to Juwan Jennings, right? You see what I'm saying? So their strength and where they've spent most of their draft capital does not even line up to offset what the 49ers are offering. That's just what it is. Oh, what's up, Captain Insano? We got Bobo in the house. Everybody showing up. I love it. So let's go through our matchups on this side. Blue chip, best on best. There's a lot of these. And again, you talk about like who are their best players? It's their tight end, Trey McBride, and their running back, James Conner. Well, who are the 49ers' best player? Fred freaking Warner. Yeah, they're great. Fred Warner's the best coverage linebacker in the history of the NFL. And D. Witter's damn good coverage guy. Like, I'm not sure. I'm taking Fred Warner over Trey McBride. And Trey McBride might be the number 2 best tight end, but Fred Warner for sure as hell is the number 1 best linebacker in the NFL. I'm taking that 100%. You want to go Diamador Lenore versus, Harrison Jr.? That's cool, but Harrison Jr. likes to play on the offensive left. I don't think we're going to see that a lot. I think they'll keep him on the left against Renardo Green. So I think that's what that will be. Papa, what's up, man? John, why is it most of the... Man, it's all caps, bro. He's yelling at me. I still love you, Papa. Offensive players that get hurt, not the defense. Is it something that Kyle is doing differently than solid? Offense, a lot of times you don't get to see the play. Defense is always facing the play, attacking the play. Defense is attacking. Offense, you're blocking. Ben Barch gets rolled up. Those types of... Like, it's just different. And so whenever you're the aggressor, and I always used to tell this to my players, if you're out there and you're going to be tentative, you're going to be cautious, you're going to play scared, those guys get hurt. Like, when you start hitting drills every year, like, you've got to walk through it. You show, like, dude, if you do this gingerly, you're the one that gets hurt. You absorb all the contact. You give out the contact, it don't hurt. It feels great. But when you get slobber knocked, that hurts you. But whenever you do that to somebody else, you feel fine. And offense is a little bit more passive just by definition, right? You have to, catch, block, hold, all that stuff. Whereas defense is attacking and run full speed at you all the time. So it's more just, that's not just the 49ers. That's most teams. So that Papa J said, my bad, John, I'm not yelling. I'm just frustrated. Dude, I know you're not yelling. You're the best, Papa. It's funny. It's like he's coming at me. But yeah, I think that's a lot of it. Now, the best matchup for the 49ers is, it's that edge versus their right tackle, Jonah Williams. That's it. So, you talk Nick Bosa, Bryce Huff against Jonah Williams. You want to throw Mikael Williams in there? That is awesome. Now, you want to talk Paris Johnson versus Bosa. That's kind of a blue chip matchup too. I'm not going to put Paris Johnson in that category yet. I consider him a good left tackle. I don't think he's a top 5. I don't even think he's a top 8, but he's one of those young upcomers. We'll see what he's got. He's got to prove it. He hasn't done that yet. Now, their best matchup is Trey McBride versus our safeties. That's the one where I'm just like, eesh. Marquise Siegel, Jason Pinnett gave up 2 touchdowns. Marquise Siegel is in place a lot of times, but gave up some big catches. Trey McBride versus anybody's safeties is a problem, but our safeties, little concerned. Might use some Jair Brown and big nickel packages. So I'm rolling out our base format. because I want to tackle Jair Brown's not a good tackler. You got to tackle against the Cardinals if you're going to win. But if, Trey McBride's abusing our safeties, I'm going big nickel, and I'm going to roll Jair Brown over the top of him because that is his strength is guarding those bigger players, not man coverage, Nick Sorensen, Jack Wagon. But, yeah, I think Jair Brown's going to be one of the better coverage matchups for Trey McBride, but he's going to get his. He's going to get his. I just don't want him to get too much. So your checks are, Jair, we're going big nickel. Go out there. You're covering Trey McBride. Don't let him beat us anymore. That's kind of the idea. Now let's get to a couple bets of the week. Now, I post my bets usually Friday to Saturday, but the injury history, I wanted to wait and see some things. I'll probably be posting them Saturday tomorrow because I'm not traveling this week. I'm staying home. So tomorrow, all of those bets will be placed, but I got a couple I want to share with you right now. You know that one guy in the group chat who had a 5-leg parlay week 1 and just wouldn't shut up about it for the rest of the season? That could be you. My bookie makes it super easy to get into the action. College football, NFL, super contest, survivor pools, casino, blackjack, whatever it is you want, they got it. All the spreads, player props, and in-game lines you could want all under one roof. And if you're new to my bookie, use our code 49ers, 49ERS, up to $500 is fully covered. You make your play. Let's say it doesn't hit. You get all of it right back up to $500 when you opt in using your bet back bonus, and you get it back. It's just what it is. Comes with a one-time rollover if you use it. Now, no better time to jump in, no better place to play. Plus, we have all of our weekly bets and season bets up on our Patreon and the 49ersrush.com. So if you don't know how to get started, we've got it made for you. We show you what we bet. We show you what's out there, and we will cover that with you. It's going to be a good time. So football's back. Let's make some money with my bookie. Promo code 49ERS. Let's go. All right, if you haven't bet with us, man, we made a lot of money on the draft. We covered, I think, close to, 38% increase on week 1. Last week was a 25% increase. I don't know how long they're going to go. We're going to have a bad week sooner or later. But I am taking the 49ers money line. The 49ers are favored by 3. I'm not betting them to cover the spread. I don't like the question marks at quarterback. I don't like Juwan Jennings not practicing, Connor Colby. But I am taking the 49ers to win money line, which just means they just have to win the game. So I'm betting that one. And I'm also doing a 2-team teaser. Once I get to week 3, I kind of stop taking the points. And now we start to establish kind of who teams are who and which teams are not. So I'm doing a 2-team +7 teaser. So you get 7 points added on to both these games. I'm taking the Packers -0.5 of a point versus the Browns, which just means Packers just have to win. And I'm taking the Bucks +0.5 of a point versus the Jets, which just means the Bucks have to win. So if those two things happen, you bet 10 to win 7. You can go in increments of whatever you want, but that's probably my favorite non-49ers teaser. We'll put up about 8 to 12 bets a given week. The injuries are kind of hard, but I'm telling you, whatever they put Pearsall at, I'm betting over on yards and catches this week. That dude, I'm pretty excited about this. But anyway, so those are a couple of our bets. We'll post those up on the 49ersrush.com and on our Patreon for the Jerry Rice tier and up. 7-day free trial. Check it out. Let's get to our predictions. And I want you guys to start dropping whatever predictions. It could be score alerts. It could be what you think the scoring final score will be. It could be, I think Nick Bosa is going to have 2 sacks. I think Fred Warner's going to have 12 tackles. Whatever. Like whatever you feel confident in, throw those up in the chat. Let's keep that going. We'll do that. Y'all try to talk negative on my Longhorns. I ain't taking that bait. I see it in the chat. Let's go freaking hook them, baby. We got time. We're going to figure it out. I ain't giving up on Arch yet. You guys, going to come at. Don't make me come back there. Hook them, baby. I got my Longhorn shorts on. Y'all can't see those. Y'all don't want to see those. That's okay. Now let's talk predictions. Offense. I don't care who the quarterback is. If Brock Purdy could go, Brock Purdy goes. Like, that is very simple. Division games, I see as playoff games. So, like, this game is paramount. That's what I said earlier. Like, it's everything. You do. If you can go, you go. I am not playing it safe. I am not, well, let's just make sure Brock's going to be okay. I ain't that guy. If he can go, Doc, he can go. Like, this game is everything. Everything. So I don't care who the damn quarterback is against these corners and this lack of pass rush. Dude, this is a quarterback to dream with all those corners out. And so and again, another thing I'm betting, whichever quarterback goes, and I'm going to wait and I'll post this one very, very late, that if it's Mac Jones, if it's Brock Purdy, don't care. I'm betting over 1.5 touchdown passes for whichever quarterback does go in. I'll have the bet queued up, and I'll put that probably like 20 minutes before kickoff. That's where I'll get that out. Now, the good thing is you can run inside against this Cardinals defense. They are not, now Calais Campbell's a beast, but that's only one guy. The rest are not solid run gap players. Their linebackers are better against the run than coverage, but you should be able to run the ball. You should be able to run the ball. I have Christian McCaffrey getting 25 plus touches. I have Christian McCaffrey going over 115 yards. It's going to be a heavy CMC game. It just is. Kendrick Bourne, I have getting over 4 catches as well. Pearsall, I've got getting 6 catches. And I still think Juwan Jennings going to play. I really, really do. And it's kind of a twofer with him being out because Kendrick Bourne got all those reps this week. So now Kendrick Bourne's going to be more up to speed. And if Juwan Jennings does go, which I do think that he's going to play, it's in his best interests. Anyway, take that for what you want. Papa, I know that the highly unlikely is what, Shanahan said over and over and over again. But again, listen to me whenever I say I trust Kyle Shanahan on a lot of things. Sure as hell don't trust him on injuries. The fact that he put both Mac Jones and Brock Purdy up at the podium, one after each other, that should tell you all you got to know. That should tell you all you got to go. So take that for what you will. Now, defensively, I don't really care about sacks this week. And, I talked about this and I said it, Coach, I don't even know if you're still with us. That was an hour ago, this comment, and I apologize. But, he asked me, John, can you talk about keeping Kyler contained? Any new wrinkles that Saleh has in his pocket? You demand. And I talked about this on the Wayne show, Wayne Breezy show this morning. Nick Sorensen was kind of like a cheap imitation knockoff of what Robert Saleh did with the Jets the last 3 to 4 years. And one of the most successful things that he's done in the 2 weeks with the 49ers is whenever he goes to that cover one under man on 3rd and long. That has worked really, really well because what happens is you run a single high safety that takes the middle of the field away, deep middle. But then whichever linebacker, it rotates based off of, let's say James Conner or Trey Benson is out there, right? Let's say he releases to the defensive right. Well, whichever linebacker, whether it's D. Winters or Fred Warner, the linebacker, whichever way he releases, the rules say that's now your man. Now, the linebacker away from that, he is now your under one-man zone, which basically you take curl-to-curl zone right on top of the center. If somebody comes into your zone, you jump that. But your eyes are on the quarterback, Kyler Murray. And so that's going to be D. Winters or it's going to be Fred Warner based on which way the running back releases on his route or even steps up to block. It doesn't really matter. But whichever way he steps, that linebacker corresponding to that side is now man-to-man coverage with that guy. We do some dog splits that way too. I don't want to overcomplicate it. Probably should have said that. But anyway, you want to know what dog splits is, go search it. Anyway, the linebacker, now this looks like a prototypical spy. It's not a spy. It's a zone. It's an under zone. And so that linebacker, whether it's D. Winters or Fred Warner, you have curl-to-curl zone right over the center, but you're reading the quarterback. We called it 60 series, where you have a 70 series, you're reading the wide receivers. You have a 60 series, you're reading the quarterback. Niners under Saleh and the Jets would do a 60 series call where, dude, you're dropping back in this zone, but I'm watching Kyler. And at the second he runs, I've got the angle on him. Both of them are fast as hell, D. Winters, and that's how I stop it. Now, at the defensive line front, and you can do this in zone, you can do this in cover one man, you can do this in whatever, you're running stunts like crazy. You want crisscrosses and all over and pick plays because from a smaller quarterback like Kyler, it doesn't look like there is a gap. Now, if he could be patient and wait and then step through the gap, you're fine with that. But what you're not fine with is Kyler escaping to the outside perimeter, outside leverage of those outside rushers. You can't do that. Niners have put up a lot of bad tape. Upton Stout shot inside 3 times against Spencer Rattler. Got him once, twice. He got, he was able to escape. Mikael Williams keeps shooting outside, struggling with outside contain. He's setting the edge well in the run game, but he's taking some bad angles in the screen, outside screen game, and quarterback pursuit. So, you got to get better there. So I think that's how you handle. You've got to make Kyler Murray beat you from within the pocket with his arm. That's why I'm saying I don't care about sacks. If you can keep little Kyler just in a little bubble and make him throw the ball to beat you consistently through 4 quarters, I don't think he can do that. I don't think he can. So that's why I'm just like, you know what? Let's do this. You know what I mean? Make him beat you with his arm from the pocket. And if he can do that through 4 quarters, you hats off to him. But he's never done that. So that's what I'm doing. And I am just working pursuit and gap control. And, man, when you blitz from the outside, Bryce Huff, Nick Bosa, you do not come under until you get past quarterback depth. Don't do that. And my defensive tackles, you better be ready to run. I want more Alfred Collins snaps because his energy is just off the charts and his hustle is off the charts. Clea Davis, not so much. He had a couple loafs. Jordan Elliott, CJ West will run nonstop. But those young bucks get after it. You know what I mean? So, and now when Yetur Gross-Matos, he is a player who has had terrible, horrible effort. The few games that he played last season, he stepped it up a lot this year. So that's a Robert Saleh effect. And so I'm excited about that. Mikael Williams, it's been iffy on that all-out effort, but he's played 50-plus snaps. Yetur Gross-Matos, dude, you're playing 20 snaps. There's no reason. Clea Davis, you're playing 30 snaps. There's no reason to loaf. All-out effort, hustle. That's what I want to see. So if you get some Marquise Siegel blitzes in there, I really want Marquise Siegel to blitz this week because, 1, I don't want him in coverage against Trey McBride. But 2, I think he's one of the best tacklers in space on this team, which is crazy to say for a 5th-round rookie safety. But, dude, I love watching number 36 work in space and tackle. It's just every time I see him coming down the alley, I'm just like, oh, he's so damn good at it. Eyes up, drives feet through, wraps up, sees what he hits, gets head across. And it's just if I'm just sitting there with a form tackle checklist, I'm just like, yep. That's Marquise Siegel. Now in coverage, little suspect. I think that's there. We'll see. But that's what you've got to do, right? Lots of stunts, cover one under man, and do some safety blitzes where you'll loop inside. We call it a river or a lake call, where let's just say Bryce Huff is in that wide 9. He's going to take one step up and shoot inside to the B gap, and then the safety comes outside, right? That's the idea. So, you're bringing 5. There's nothing wrong with bringing 5. Do it, man. Do it. Don't let Trey McBride take over, and have the plan in place. If Siegel's getting destroyed in coverage or Pinnock gives up another 2 touchdowns, dude, we're gonna work in some Jair Brown. Now you bring in Jair Brown. Now tackling's a concern. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Missed tackles will be a key defining moment of this game. Week 1, the 49ers only had 3 missed tackles. Last week against the Saints, you had 12. Got to keep that number single digits. I think the 49ers win. I've got the 49ers coming out and edging out a victory by 3 points, which is exactly the spread. I've got a 23-20 game. It's going to be fun. If the 49ers keep it close in the first half, they're winning the game. If the 49ers keep it close in the first half, they are winning the game. The Cardinals are not built for 4 quarters of battle. They have proven that through 2 weeks. Keep it close early. Keep it close early. Right here, Ben says, do we play Martin this week to add to his speed? This would be the game, but I'm saying no, not in a divisional game. No, he needs way more seasoning. Curtis Robinson, I want out there on special teams. I love Nick Martin, and I'm still a fan of that pick. And the upside, we saw it, but he's still way too raw. And if you do put Nick Martin out there, dude, you better blitz them. You use them only on special teams. You're going to get 7 snaps. You're going to blitz 7 times because I do not want him in coverage against Trey McBride. I do not want that. Oh, yeah. I'm good. I'm good there. So I got the 49ers winning. We'll see. I should be doing a show early in the morning with the Krugster, and we'll be going live right after the game is over, whether that's a therapy session or a celebration, doesn't matter. Make sure as soon as the game's over, you join us right here on this channel. I'm so thankful for you guys. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And yeah, until next time, stay strong, faithful.